After a 3-week layoff, the Hamilton Southeastern Royals went back into action last Friday and Saturday night as they took on the Harrison Raiders and the Muncie Central Bearcats. And any question of whether the Royals were going to have a little bit of rust was quickly dispelled as Hamilton Southeastern routed both teams, shot over 60% from the field on way to easy victories, and en route to a 10-1 record and a ranking of number 5 in the state of Indiana. Tonight, they'll welcome a Central Indiana icon, a player that had played in 2 Butler University national championship games, as Ronald Norad turns to the coaching business as he brings his Brownsburg Bulldogs here to Hamilton Southeastern tonight, as we have the Royals and the Bulldogs on AudioSportsOnline.com. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Royals basketball on ASO. My name is Brian Scott. Glad to be back with you tonight. Tonight, we're going to have the JV game, and then we will have a dual broadcast for the varsity game, as both the Bulldogs and the Royals, clients of Audio Sports Online, and of course, Brownsburg will also have their game broadcast on 1610 AM XRB in Brownsburg itself. But before we get on to that, we'll have the junior varsity game between the Royals and the Bulldogs. Let's go ahead and give you our starting lineup for the Brownsburg Bulldogs. The JV coach is John Chastain, and looking over their lineup, they are very, very thin. They only have 7 players dressed for this JV game. As I was told, one player had to go to a funeral, sadly to say. Others, some other reasons why they are not here tonight. So a 7-man rotation for Coach Chastain. He'll have starting at a guard a 5'11 junior, Cantrell Marcus. The other guard will be a 6-foot junior, Kyle Hathaway. At forward will be a 6-foot junior, Andrew Hubley. The other forward, a 6'1 freshman, Tyler Kurtz. And at center, 6'7", a sophomore, Dalton Vachon. So once again, for the Bulldogs in the backcourt, it'll be Hathaway and Marcus, and up front, Kurtz, Hubley, and Vachon. That's the starting lineup for the JV Bulldogs. For the Hamilton Southeastern JV Royals, the head coach is Calvin Bembry, and he'll have a very familiar lineup. Starting at a guard is a 5'11 junior, Max Hankins. At the other guard, also a 5'11 junior, Mason Hankins. At forward, a 6'2 sophomore, Chris Ford. The other forward is a 6'5 sophomore, Keegan Culp, and at center, a 6'3 sophomore, Tyler Scholl. So both Hankins are in the backcourt, and up front it'll be Ford, Culp, and Scholl. That's the starting lineup for the JV Royals as we get set for action here on Audio Sports Online. Hope everybody's enjoying April this time of year on a very warm Friday. It seems so long ago that we watched the blizzard come through central Indiana. All that snow and cold, it's almost all gone right now. But we will still have basketball as January gets into full gear for the boys' side. They still have about another 5-6 weeks of basketball in their regular season left, while the girls, they only have about 6 games remaining, and that'll be our next Royals broadcast tomorrow evening as the 7th-ranked Hamilton Southeastern girls team takes on Zionsville. That game you can watch right here on ASO. We're about ready for basketball here. Of course, the Royals in the home white. The Bulldogs are in the road purple as we get ready for basketball on Audio Sports Online. Hope you enjoy tonight's set of games. Slow arriving crowd as we normally get here for the junior varsity games, but the pep band's already got their set up to our right, so we expect a very busy night. The girls basketball team is out on the concourse as they are selling for charity tonight. The ball's in the air, and it's controlled by Hamilton Southeastern. Royals will look over a man-to-man defense by the Bulldogs as Keegan Culp has the basketball, gives to Ty Scholl. They swing it around to the right side, and then Keegan Culp slips out underneath the basket all alone. And the Royals have the first 2 points as the Bulldogs look at a 2-2-1 press. And they get the ball near side to Tyler Kurtz. Kurtz will try to throw it into the front court. Nobody home as Andrew Hubley was retreating to get the basketball. It goes out of bounds, and the ball will belong to Hamilton Southeastern. Just underway opening minute here of the junior varsity contest here on ASO. As the Royals swinging around, that's Mason Hankins out on the right wing up to Chris Ford. Ford to Max Hankins, back to Chris Ford. Driving in the lane, Keegan Culp, a right-hand floater in the lane is no good. Getting the rebound is Dalton Vachon for the Bulldogs. Brownsburg looking for their first point. 3 from the left wing is up. It's no good by Andrew Hubley. And Max Hankins brings the rebound down for the Bulldogs. Here's Ford. 3 ball from the corner is up and good by Chris Ford. 5-0 Royals. 4:48 remains in this opening quarter of play as the Bulldogs once again look over a full court press. They get it into the front court. Driving into the lane with an idea of putting it up was Kyle Hathaway, but he shuffled the feet, and the turnover will give the ball back to the Hamilton Southeastern Royals. Just underway, as I mentioned, just a minute and a half into this game, and the Royals lead 5-0. Chris Ford just hit that 3, drives in the lane, kicks it out. Mason Hankins for 3 for the right wing. That's no good. Clearing the rebound is Tyler Kurtz. Kurtz between the circles with a left-hand dribble. Now gets around to Vachon's screen. Double team comes. He'll flip it left side to Kyle Hathaway. They'll go down into the corner for Cantrell Marcus. Marcus will hook it back to Hathaway. Hathaway drives baseline, throws up a shot over the rim. No good, but the rebound by the Bulldogs, Kurtz. Brownsburg looking for their first point. They trail 5-0. 3:52 remains in this first quarter. Ball almost stolen by Keegan Culp, and he'll gain control of the basketball. Give it to Mason Hankins. Left side, Max Hankins to Chris Ford. Ford, guarded by Kurtz, will send the ball back around the perimeter to the right wing to Mason Hankins. Mason left side, Chris Ford. Ford around a screen, pick and roll to Ty Scholl. Ty Scholl lays it off to Keegan Culp, and Keegan Culp finishes it off. 4 points for Keegan. 7-0 Hamilton Southeastern with a lead. Now a ball lost on the press as Max Hankins gets the ball into the lane behind the back to Chris Ford over in the near corner, but a whistle will stop play and we'll have our first foul. Tyler Kurtz with his first personal, first team foul. And Chris Ford will inbound from the baseline. Tries to get it into Keegan Culp. Will have a held ball, and the possession error will favor Brownsburg. 3:18 remains in this first quarter of play. 7-0 Hamilton Southeastern as Kurtz will inbound from the baseline. And once again, that 2-2-1 press by the Royals. Kurtz gives the ball off to Marcus. Marcus back to Kurtz. Just gets it across the timeline. And now the ball stolen by Mason Hankins. Throws it out to Chris Ford. Leaves it for Max Hankins. Max on the layup. Leaves it high off the glass. Won't get the bucket. But Max is going to earn a trip to the free throw line. Looks like it'll go against Andrew Hubley. That's his first. And as we mentioned for Coach Chastain, Bulldogs can ill afford too many fouls. They only have 2 other bench players. Max Hankins gets the first free throw. Adrian Chapman now into the contest as he takes over for Tyler Kurtz, and Andrew Hubley departs. I take that back. Hubley departs for Stephen Lauder. Max hits both free throws. It's 9-0 for Southeastern. Here's a 3 ball from the corner. Rims out, no good, but there for the rebound and the putback is Cantrell Marcus, and the Bulldogs have their first points of the contest. It's a 9-2 Southeastern advantage. Max Hankins, 3 ball on its way. It's good. Hankins now with 4 points, and the lead's double digits for Southeastern at 12-2 with 2:30 left to go first quarter. Pass over the top into the corner to Kyle Hathaway. His shot no good. Rebounded by the Royals. Outlet to Chris Ford. Ford finishes it off. As the Royals get an easy bucket in transition, they lead 14-2. Right side, this is Lauder. He has his pass stolen. Here's Chris Ford again. Thought about throwing it down, and he's going to be fouled from behind. Foul will go against Brownsburg. And it'll go against the Bulldogs' Cantrell Marcus. his first 13 foul, and Chris Ford is at the line to shoot a pair. Chris already with 5 points in this first quarter, make it 6 as he hits the first of 2. One more for Chris. Second free throw is good, and it's 16-2 in favor of Southeastern as Tyler Kurtz returns. And that will be a timeout called by Brownsburg. With 2:07 remaining in the opening quarter, 16-2 is our score. You're watching Southeastern basketball on Audio Sports Online. (16-2) Southeastern with the advantage. 2 minutes and 7 seconds remain in this opening quarter as the Bulldogs come out of the timeout. And they will have on the court Hathaway, Kurtz, Marcus, Hubley, and Vashon. Correction, not Hubley. Stephen Louder stays out. As I mentioned, a very thin Bulldogs JV team here as they get the ball to Chapman. Actually, it's Andrew Chapman now on the court out of the timeout. He'll throw it to Louder. Louder almost lost it. Gives the ball back up to Hathaway. Hathaway around a screen. Keeban Culp comes out to help defense. And he'll go left side to Kurtz. Minute 39 as Kurtz kept from penetrating into the lane. Gives it back over to Louder. Louder almost loses it. Almost goes into the backcourt. Instead, he'll find Hathaway. Hathaway from the free throw line, little pump fake, shot's no good, gets his own rebound, and the 14-foot jumper is up and good. Kyle Hathaway gets the second Brownsburg bucket, but they trail by 12 at 16-4. Minute 9 left to go first quarter as Chris Ford looks to get the ball over in the corner. It'll be poked out of bounds by the Bulldogs, and Southeastern will maintain possession. 16-4, Southeastern with the lead as Max Hankins will trigger the inbounds from the baseline. He'll get it to Keegan Culp, over to Mason Hankins. Back to Max, long three on its way. That's off the side of the rim, no good. Rebounded by Tyler Kurtz. Kurtz into the front court, left side, Louder for three. On its way, it's up and good. Stephen Louder has the three. It's cut it. The deficit to single digits at 16-7. 45 seconds remain in this first quarter. Mason Hankins with the basketball, right side, Chris Ford. Ford will pop up a three. That misses everything, and Louder catches the air ball and will give it left side to Kurtz. Kurtz into the front court. A whistle will stop play, and we're going to have a foul. That'll go against Chris Ford. That's his first. It's also Southeastern's first foul here in this ball game. And Tyler Kurtz, has the basketball. Gives it over to Chapman. Chapman swings the ball around back into the hands of Kurtz. Left side to Hathaway. Hathaway to Kurtz, who can't hang on to the pass as the ball was off his fingertips. It'll go out of bounds, and the ball will belong to Southeastern. And Coach Calvin Bembry is going to call a 30-second timeout. With 17.3 seconds left, Southeastern up by 9 at 16-7. This is Hamilton Southeastern basketball on Audio Sports Online. I want to remind fans, stay tuned. Varsity game to follow. That will be a joint broadcast between Brownsburg and Hamilton Southeastern. Of course, you can watch the game here on ASO, and those that are maybe tuned in from the Brownsburg area, you will be able to listen to the varsity game on 1610 AM XRB in Brownsburg. But we still have a lot of JV basketball left to play. Hopefully fans from Brownsburg tuned in. Don't normally get to see your JV team out on the court, so glad you could tune in for that. Max Hankins will throw it into Mason, and Mason brings it in the front court. 14 seconds remaining. They'll look over a 2-3 zone right now by Brownsburg. Under 10 left, 8 seconds left. Mason with the basketball, spins right side. Chris Ford leaves it to Ty Scholl. Ty Scholl underneath goes to the cup. And with 2.3 seconds remaining, he's going to be fouled by the Bulldogs. Looks like Dalton Vachon will pick up his first foul, 14th foul. And Ty Scholl's at the line to shoot a pair. First free throw for Ty is up. It's good. And one more, as right now Hamilton Southeastern has hit all 5 of their free throw attempts. We hope we won't jinx Ty, and we don't. He hits them both, and the lead's back to double figures at 11. Final 2 seconds, three-quarter shot on its way, hits the front of the rim. Adrian Chapman had it lined up, but just not enough juice to get there. Hits the front of the rim, and it's no good, and that's the end of the first quarter of play. Hamilton Southeastern, a strong first quarter. They lead the Brownsburg Bulldogs by the score of 18-7. This is Royals basketball on ASO. Back at Hamilton Southeastern High School, Brian Scott, as the Brownsburg Bulldogs have made the trip over to Hamilton Southeastern tonight to play the Royals in a Hoosier Crossroads Conference matchup. We are in the junior varsity game. We've played 6 minutes, and the Royals lead 18-7. To begin the second quarter of play for Hamilton Southeastern, it will be Tyler Janney, Grant Leach, Brendan Burns, Jack Kramer, and Josiah Johnson. For the Bulldogs, they will have Tyler Kurtz, Dalton Vachon, Andrew Hubley, Cantrell Marcus as the Royals get the ball down low into the hands of Kramer. And the Royals are able to beat the 1-3-1 press. And the other out there is Cantrell Marcus for the Bulldogs. 20-7, Southeastern with the advantage as Louder has the basketball, tries to poke it into Vachon, but it's poked away by Brendan Burns. And here comes Tyler Janney into the front court. Grant Leach finds Josiah Johnson from just about the left elbow, bounces around and gets it to fall. Josiah with his first point, and the lead's 15 for Southeastern with 5:08 remaining in the first half. Here's a three ball from the corner that grazes off the front of the rim as Andrew Hubley's three is no good, and Southeastern brings it the other way. Burns finds Johnson at the low post, kicks it out. Grant Leach for three, nailed it. Grant Leach hits the three, and the Bulldogs trail 25-7. And now we are going to have a held ball, and the possession arrow is going to favor Brownsburg. Adrian Chapman will return, and taking a seat will be Stephen Louder. 4:43 remains in the first half, 25-7 all Southeastern as the Bulldogs try to get out of the trap. They send it down into the corner, skips over the top. Good tusk patch into the right corner to Chapman. Back up top, this is Marcus. Marcus left side to Hubley. Hubley to Vachon, free throw line, back over to Chapman. Chapman to Marcus. Marcus has to kick it out. Three ball on its way is no good by Kurtz, and the rebound comes down into the hands of Grant Leach for Hamilton Southeastern. And a steal. This time the steal will be by Cantrell Marcus. Marcus will take it. He will not be able to finish the break as the foul is going to be committed from behind as the Royals don't give up the easy basket. And Josiah Johnson will pick up the second Royals foul, his first. And Cantrell Marcus is at the line for 2. First free throws in this contest for the Bulldogs, as Marcus' first free throw is good. Once again, Brownsburg playing with only 7 junior varsity players, as Coach John Chastain tries to keep players fresh. Marcus' second free throw is no good. Kramer with a rebound. He'll get it to Tyler. Janney with the basketball. Goes right side to Grant Leach, and Leach trying to make a move, loses the ball out of bounds. Kyle Hathaway will return for the Bulldogs. And departing will be Cantrell Marcus. 25-8, Hamilton Southeastern with the lead. Brownsburg with the basketball, as they bring it into the front court. And we'll go right side to Hubley, to Kurtz, left side to Chapman, into the hands of Hubley once again. And now the ball is tipped. Bracing out is Brendan Burns, and he will finish as the Bulldogs defense allows for an easy basket. And it's a 27-8 lead for Southeastern. Now here's another steal by Burns. Burns will give it left side. Josiah Johnson drives to the cup as he comes up with a right hand. A whistle will stop play as that shot hit the bottom of the rim. And the foul will go against Brownsburg. Adrian Chapman picks up the foul. 15 foul against the Bulldogs. 5 team fouls. They've spread it across 5 different players, as Josiah is at the line for a pair. First free throw is good. The Royals remain perfect from the charity stripe in this first half. Second free throw from Josiah is up, hits front iron. That one rolls off, and Kurtz has the rebound, quickly bringing it into the front court. Weaves through the defense, now kicks it out. Hathaway for 3 is good from the corner. Kyle Hathaway with 5 points, 28-11 is our score. As Hamilton Southeastern moves the ball around to Brendan Burns out at the wing, back to Tyler Janney. Back to Burns, right wing, looks underneath, finds Josiah Johnson. Nice little leave for Jack Kramer, and Kramer finishes it off. Good job from Josiah. Bulldogs came to double team as they expected Josiah to go up with it, and he just left it off for Kramer to make the easy basket. It's a 19-point lead for Hamilton Southeastern, 30-11, with 2:33 left to go in this first half in the junior varsity contest. Left side, the ball's into Hubley. Hubley will bring it around, go right side to Kurtz. Kurtz from the right wing, guarded by Kramer, goes over top, and with the 3 ball is Adrian Chapman. It's off the front of the rim, and the Royals have the rebound. Tyler Janney with the basketball. Right side to Grant Leach. Goes to Kramer. Kramer will put up the jumper. It's no good. Kurtz with a rebound for the Bulldogs. Brownsburg trails by 19. Minute 56 remains in this first half. Kyle Hathaway has the ball on the right wing. Looks to move and goes left side to Kurtz. Tyler Kurtz with the basketball. Double team comes. He'll give it back to Hathaway. And they'll go down in the corner to Hubley. Hubley will try to drive. He's cut off. Kicks it back out to Hathaway. Over to Kurtz. Kurtz's 3 is no good. And here comes Hamilton Southeastern. Royals on the front court. Grant Leach for 3. That's off the side of the rim, but Johnson flies through the lane and gets the putback rebound to give Hamilton Southeastern a 32-11 advantage with a minute 16 left to go in this first half of play. Hathaway with the basketball. Picks up his dribble, looking to give it to somebody. Finds Vashon. And Bulldogs JV coach John Chastain will call a timeout. With a minute 7 remaining in this opening quarter, Hamilton Southeastern all way out in front. They lead the Bulldogs by 21, 32-11. This is Hamilton Southeastern basketball on Audio Sports Online. Our next Royals broadcast will be tomorrow night right back here at Hamilton Southeastern as the 7th-ranked Lady Royals welcome the Zionsville Eagles to Hamilton Southeastern. JV game to begin at 6 o'clock. Varsity game to begin at 7:30. And you can watch all the action as you can join me tomorrow night here on Audio Sports Online. With 1:07 remaining in the first half, Hamilton Southeastern well out in front. They lead the Brownsburg Bulldogs junior varsity squad by the score of 32-11. Royals got 7 points from Chris Ford in that first quarter. They have 5 points from Josiah Johnson here in the second quarter. Leading scorer so far for Brownsburg with 5 points is Kyle Hathaway. Out of the timeout for Hamilton Southeastern, it is Tyler Janney, Jack Kramer, Brendan Burns, Grant Leach, and Josiah Johnson. And for the Bulldogs, Cantrell Marcus, Stephen Lauder, Dalton Vachon, Kyle Hathaway, and Adrian Chapman. Lauder gets the ball to Hubley, who turns it to Marcus, and Cantrell Marcus hits from about 14 feet out. Under a minute left to play in this first quarter. Scores 32-13 in favor of Southeastern. Nice little pick and roll to Kramer. Kramer leaves it to Johnson. Johnson couldn't quite hang on to the basketball, and coming away with it is Adrian Chapman. He leaves it for Cantrell. Cantrell left side. Hathaway's three is on its way. Shot's no good. But fouling Hathaway on the three-point attempt is Jack Kramer. And that's going to send Hathaway to the line to shoot 3 free throws. So Hathaway at the line, he has 5 points. And he'll have a chance for 3 free throws. First free throw hits back iron, no good. 36.7 seconds remain in this first half. 32-13 is our score. Southeastern out in front. Hathaway's second free throw is good. One more free throw for Kyle Hathaway. And he hits 2 out of the 3. He now has 7 points, 32-15. The Royal lead. 31 seconds remain in the half. Grant Leach with the basketball left side to Burns. Burns back to Leach. Leach has a screen from Johnson. Over to Tyler Janney with under 20 seconds remaining. Guarded closely by Marcus. Janney gets through, leaves it off, and they'll have a player control foul against Tyler Janney. Good idea by Tyler, leaving it off for Josiah Johnson. Johnson put it in, but they called the player control foul against Tyler first. That's his first, team foul number 4. And 14 seconds remain for the Bulldogs as they trail 32-15. Left side, this is Hubley. Hubley has the double team, throws it right into the hands of Brendan Burns. And as Burns tried to corral the loose ball, he couldn't. It goes out of bounds, and with 1.7 seconds remaining, Brownsburg will have the final shot. King the inbounds will be Andrew Hubley from the far sideline right in front of the Royals bench. Hubley gets it in. Marcus's three is on the way, and he overshoots the basket. And that's the end of the first half of play. Hamilton Southeastern races out to an 11-point lead after the first quarter, and they'll head to the locker room leading by 17. Our score at the break, Hamilton Southeastern 32, Brownsburg 15. This is Royals basketball on ASO. Halftime here at Hamilton Southeastern High School junior varsity contest, and the JV Royals well out in front of the JV Bulldogs by the score of 32-15. Hamilton Southeastern raced out in a quickly 7-0 run to begin the contest, and Brownsburg has never recovered since then. Let's give you our stats. After one half of play for the visiting Brownsburg Bulldogs, Kyle Hathaway has 7 points, 5 points for Cantrell Marcus, 3 points for Stephen Louder, and that is the extent of the scoring for Brownsburg. For Hamilton Southeastern, tied for game high honor so far with 7 points is Chris Ford, 5 points each for Max Hankin and Josiah Johnson, 4 points each for Keegan Culp and Jack Kramer, 3 points for Grant Leach, and 2 points for Brendan Burns and Ty Scholl. For the Royals, excellent from the free throw line in that first half, 7 of 8 free throws. While for the Bulldogs, they were 3 of 5. Each team, or Brownsburg, has a pair of 3-pointers. And for Hamilton Southeastern, they hit on 3 of them in that first half of play. So both teams back out here taking their second half warm-ups out on the court. And as we mentioned, for the Bulldogs, working at a little bit of a disadvantage. They are playing with only 7 players tonight, as head coach John Chastain has tried to keep things fresh, rotating players in and out. Nobody in any serious foul trouble either way. Nobody with more than 1 personal foul apiece. So we're getting ready for second half action here at Hamilton Southeastern. Don't forget, following this contest, the varsity contest, it will be a joint broadcast between Brownsburg and Hamilton Southeastern. Watch the game here on Audio Sports Online, and for our friends and fans out in Brownsburg, you can listen to the game in Brownsburg on 1610 AM XRB, or also watch the game right here on ASO and XRBradio.com. Both teams huddle around their respective coaching staffs, as the Brownsburg has had a fairly good contingent make their way over from the far west side of Indianapolis. And most of them are seated across the way behind the bench. So far, a slow arriving crowd here for Hamilton Southeastern, but that should pick up here shortly. To start the second half for Hamilton Southeastern, it will be Mason Hankins, Grant Leach, Chris Ford, Jack Kramer, and Ty Scholl. And for Brownsburg, it will be Kyle Hathaway, Tyler Kurtz, Cantrell Marcus, Andrew Hubley, and Dalton Vachon. Royals will have the basketball. The Royals are in white, and they'll have the ball moving left to right to begin the second half. Grant Leach loses the basketball. Coming away with it is Hubley for Brownsburg. Brownsburg gets the steal. With the ball right now is Tyler Kurtz, guarded by Mason Hankins. Goes right side to Marcus. This is Cantrell Marcus with the basketball. Marcus goes right side, and they move the ball into Kurtz's hands. That's Kurtz with the basketball, backs it up between the circles, dribbles right side. Pull-up jumper, as not sure if he was trying to shoot the ball or drop it down into Andrew Hubley. But they will say it's a shooting foul, and the foul will go against Mason Hankins. That's his first, team's first, and Kurtz will have 2 free throws. Kurtz misses the first of 2. He was held scoreless in that first half. One more free throw for Tyler Kurtz. Second free throw, that's off the back of the rim, and Ty Scholl has the rebound for Southeastern. And now we have a whistle, and they'll call traveling as Chris Ford is called for the violation, and the ball goes back into the hands of Brownsburg. Just underway here in the second half, a 32-15 Southeastern advantage is ball into the hands of Marcus. Marcus down low to Vachon. Vachon's turnaround right-hander in the lane misses everything. Trying to save it was Andrew Hubley, but He is unable to do so, and the ball goes back into the hands of Hamilton Southeastern. Southeastern with a 17-point lead, under 5 left to go, third quarter. This is Grant Leach with the basketball. He'll go left side, Mason Hankins. Now down into the hands of Chris Ford. Back to Mason, over to Grant. Grant to Mason Hankins. Bulldogs want travel. They don't get it. Leach with the basketball. Give it up Mason Hankins. Back over to Chris Ford at the far side. Over the top to Grant Leach. Grant to Mason Hankins. Drives in the lane. Right-hand floater is up. Rattles halfway down. No good, but Ty Scholes there for the putback in the basket. Ty now with 4 points. And it's a 34-15 Southeastern advantage. Vashon can't hold on to the pass. He will give it up, and the shot from the left elbow is up and good by Cantrell Marcus, and he'll head to the line looking to complete the three-point play. Foul will go against Mason Hankins, his second. Team foul number 2, and Marcus at the line where he's 1 of 2 so far in this game. And he is able to complete the three-point play. He has 8 points. And Southeastern has the basketball up 34-18. Mason Hankins, right side, that's Grant Leach. As Brownsburg goes to a zone, over the top to Leach. Leach thought about the three, closed in by Kurtz, and now ball is loose. And finally, Marcus is able to track it down for the Dogs. Now a steal by Chris Ford. Ford will take it the other way. He will lay it up, get the bucket, and draw the foul. Chris Ford with the basket. And he'll go to the line. Foul will go against Cantrell Marcus. That's his second. Team foul number 1 for the Bulldogs, as Coach Calvin Bembry is flipping the lineup. And we'll give you that in just a moment, as he's going to send 5 fresh players, especially once Ford hits his free throw. It will be Tim Ford coming on to play. Brock Sanders, and now we'll have a timeout. The other players are going to be Dominique Hall, Keegan Culp, and Max Hankins. So Coach Bembry elects to flip the roster, or flip the lineup on the floor, I should say. 5 fresh players, as Southeastern holds a 19-point advantage with 3 minutes and 48 seconds remaining in this third quarter of play. Varsity game to follow here, as the 5th-ranked Southeastern Royals will take on the Brownsburg Bulldogs. For those of you that have not heard, the Bulldogs now coached by former Butler standout Ronald Norred. And if you have not seen Brownsburg play, you will see some very familiar-looking plays, especially for those that follow Butler on a regular basis, as he brings a lot of what Brad Stevens has implemented at Butler. Right now, the JV team just looking for offense. They swing it around. This is Stephen Louder. Louder to Kurtz. Right side, Hathaway for 3. That's off the back of the rim. Louder gets the rebound, and he will back it out. He is guarded by Brock Sanders. Sanders tries to steal it, but he'll poke it out of bounds, and the ball will remain in the hands of the Bulldogs. Trailing 37-18, as we are almost halfway through this third quarter of play. Kurtz, step back 3 is on its way. It's off the side of the rim, as the ball is saved by Keegan Culp. Here comes the Royals. Sanders, right side, Culp for 3 on its way. That's off the back of the rim. And Louder has the rebound for the Bulldogs. He'll give it to Kurtz. Kurtz in the lane, back out to Louder. Long range 3 on its way. That's off the rim, no good. And Dominique Hall clears it out, and then he'll be called for double dribble. Took one dribble, kind of brought it up, then put it back down, and he's called for double dribble, and the ball goes back to the Bulldogs. 2 minutes, 48 seconds remain. Southeastern up by 19. Kurtz looking to key it in, goes left side. 3 ball on its way by Hubley is good. Andrew Hubley has his first points, a 3 ball from the corner. 37-21, Royals with the lead. And they have the basketball in the front court. Brock Sanders They get the ball down to Hall. Hall to Culp. Culp, wraparound reverse layup is up and good. Keegan Culp with 6 points, 39-21. 2:22 remains in the third quarter. Tyler Kurtz left side. This is Louder. Down into the corner to Hubley. Hubley around a Vashon screen. It'll be poked away from behind by Keegan Culp. And the Bulldogs will retain possession. Cantrell Marcus and Adrian Chapman back in. Dalton Vashon and Andrew Hubley will depart. Kurtz to key the inbound. He'll throw it to Marcus in the backcourt. And Marcus will give it back to Kurtz to bring it into the front court. Gives it off to Hathaway. Hathaway to Louder. Back right side to Kurtz. Double team comes. They find Hathaway in the corner. He's quickly double teamed. Traps himself in the corner and he travels. For Hathaway, he would have been better served to go back toward midcourt. Instead, he spun toward the corner, and that just allowed the double team to become more effective, and then he commits the traveling violation. 39-21 is our score. Minute 51 left to go, third quarter. Junior varsity game, and as they try to get the ball to Dominic Hall around the free throw line, we'll have a whistle stopping play and a foul called against Brownsburg. Cantrell Marcus will pick up his third personal foul, second team foul against the Bulldogs. A minute 45, third quarter. Sanders gives it to Culp. Culp lays it to Hankins. Hankins to Tim Ford, and Tim Ford can't hold on to the basketball. And it goes back to Brownsburg. An 18-point lead right now for Hamilton Southeastern, as the Bulldogs bring it into the front court. Left-hand dribble by Kurtz, goes right side to Cantrell, back to Kurtz. Kurtz leaves it for Hathaway. Hathaway left side into the hands of Chapman. Chapman to Kurtz as they try to weave around up at the top. Back to Cantrell. Over to Hathaway. A minute 12 remains, third quarter. Hathaway spins, has to kick it out to Louder. Louder drives left elbow, gives it off to Hathaway. Hathaway baseline, tries to lay it up and in. The shot is short, but a foul is going to be called against Hamilton Southeastern. Tim Ford will pick up his first personal foul. 13 foul against Hamilton Southeastern, and Kyle Hathaway is at the line for a pair. Hathaway 7 points in the first half, and he has his first point in the second half from the free throw line, where he is now 3 of 4 from the stripe. A minute 2 left in this third quarter, the junior varsity game, as Hathaway completes both. He has 9 points now, as entering the contest will be Keegan Kohlmeyer for Keegan Culp. 39-23. Royals have led throughout, jumped out to a 7-0 run to begin this game, and they've never looked back. Here's a three by Brock Sanders. It's up, it's good. 3 from the wing. Puts the lead back up to 19 at 42-23. 44 seconds remain in the quarter. Hathaway all alone, 3 at top of the key, is off the back iron, and as Kohlmeyer goes for the rebound, so does Adrian Chapman. They'll get Chapman for coming over the back. It's his second. 13 foul against the Bulldogs. So final 36 seconds of the quarter. Kohlmeyer left side to Max Hankins. As the Royals swing it around, Sanders tried to feed Tim Ford down in the corner. It's poked away, and here come the Bulldogs. And driving left of the lane is Tyler Kurtz. A whistle will stop play, and the foul will go against the Royals with 17.5 seconds remaining in this third quarter. Max Hankins will pick up his first personal, the 4th team foul against Southeastern. 17.5 seconds remain in the third quarter. Kurtz inbounds, finds Hathaway in the far corner, and Hathaway brings it out. Hathaway dribbles between the circles, gives it to Louder. Louder dribbles right side to Cantrell. Marcus Cantrell, pull-up jumper off the glass is up and good with 3.5 seconds. And the Royals are unable to get a shot up as Cantrell Marcus hits. And after 18 minutes of play, 3 quarters, Hamilton Southeastern still comfortably out in front, 42-25. Is a Royals basketball on ASO. Three quarters in the books here at Hamilton Southeastern in the junior varsity contest between the Royals and the Bulldogs. And Hamilton Southeastern remains with a 17-point lead. That's the lead they had at halftime. Both teams with 10 points each in that third quarter. That basket by Marcus. Cantrell Marcus gives him 10 points in the game. 10 points also now for Chris Ford. 6 points for Keegan Culp. And 9 points now for Kyle Hathaway. Brownsburg will have the basketball to begin this fourth and final quarter. And they will have Tyler Kurtz, Cantrell Marcus, Adrian Chapman, Kyle Anthony, and Stephen Lauder on the court. As they fiddle out to Hathaway. Hathaway's three from the corner is up, and it is good. 12 points now for Kyle Hathaway, 42-28. Mason Hankins, Grant Leach, Brendan Burns, Josiah Johnson, and Ty Scholl. Those are the 5 for the Bulldogs. And as Mason Hankins gets the basketball, whistle will stop play, and the foul will go against the Bulldogs of Brownsburg. Cantrell Marcus picks up his 4th personal foul. And it is the 4th team foul against the Bulldogs. 4 each team fouls for both the Royals and the Bulldogs. Mason Hankins, left side. 3 ball on the way by Grant Leach. It's no good. Brendan Burns gets the rebound. His putback is no good. Ball is still loose, and the Bulldogs come away with it. Driving down the right side of the lane and getting the layup is Adrian Chapman. Chapman with his first points, and what was once, at one time, a 19-point lead is down to 12, 42-30 for the Royals. Burns to Johnson, free throw line, left side Leach. Leach drives baseline, and a foul is going to go against Cantrell Marcus, and if it is, that's number 5. Marcus is reacting as if it's his. It is his 5th, and Cantrell Marcus will foul out with 5 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter. Marcus leaves with 10 points. So a team that only had 7 players for this game on the JV rosters. Mason Hankins on the inbound. The 3 is launched. It's no good. Hathaway with a rebound. Now finds themselves down to 6. Here's a 3 from the corner by Lauder. It's no good. Mason Hankins with a rebound. Almost fouled from behind. Gives it to Josiah Johnson. His little pull-up 8-footer is no good, and coming away with a rebound is Hathaway. Bulldogs quickly into the front court. Hathaway thought about the 3. Instead gives it to Kurtz. 4:30 left to go in this fourth quarter. 42-30 as the Bulldogs have been battling back. Lauder right side. Kurtz thought about the 3. Instead will send it into the corner. The 3 by Hubley's no good. Hathaway gets the rebound and the putback. Hathaway now with 14 points. It's a 10-point Royal lead. Leach with the basketball to Mason Hankins. Hankins guarded closely by Chapman. Right side to Brendan Burns. Burns finds Mason Hankins in the corner. Has the ball poked away by Kurtz. But there's Brendan Burns. Burns finds finds Grant Leach, who finds Josiah Johnson. And the Royals with some good ball movement get the bucket, and it's 44-32. Kurtz with the basketball, right side Lauder in the corner. Double team comes, and he forces the ball back out to Kurtz. Kurtz dribbles, gives it up. Here's Hubley for 3. Hubley shot no good. Rebounded by Chapman. Chapman throws it back out to Hubley. Hathaway, right side. This is Lauder. Lauder will kick it up to Hathaway between the circles with a left-hand dribble. He comes near side. Now gives the ball into the hands of Hubley. Right side, this is Louder. Louder for three. That misses off the back of the rim, but there for the putback from underneath is Adrian Chapman. He has 4, and the deficit's been cut to 10 once again. 44-34, more than halfway through this fourth quarter. Brendan Burns with the basketball, finds Grant Leach. Leach tries to lay it off to Ty Scholl. Instead, throws it right into the hands of Andrew Hubley. Tyler Kurtz now with the basketball, and as Kurtz makes a move, they're going to call him for a palming violation. Now into the contest is Max Hankins for Hamilton Southeastern. And it's Southeastern with the basketball and a 10-point lead. Max with the basketball back to Brendan. Brendan finds Ty Scholl. Scholl over the top to Max Hankins. Looking at Josiah in the post. Instead finds Mason back to Max. 3-ball on its way is good. Max Hankins with his second 3. He has 8 points. And it's now a 13-point Southeastern lead. 2:12 remains in this fourth quarter. Here's a 3-ball by Hathaway. It's off the rim, no good. Burns with a rebound. He'll feed it left side to Max Hankins. Max into the corner, finds Johnson. Johnson drives baseline and puts it up and in. Good strong move to the cup by Josiah. Now it's a 49-34 advantage. 1:50 remains in this fourth quarter. Bulldogs made a run, but now the Royals have lengthened it back out. Kurtz with a desperation 3. Scholl with a rebound for Southeastern. Mason Hankins left side. Long range from Max. That's off the rim, no good. Kurtz comes down with a rebound for the Bulldogs, and he's going to be fouled from behind by Brendan Burns. Jack Kramer set to come in for the Royals. Ty Scholl will pick up his first 15 foul against Hamilton Southeastern as Kramer comes in and Ty Scholl will leave. 1:26 remain. It's back up to a 15-point lead for Hamilton Southeastern, and Tyler Kurtz tips the basketball as he was trying to save it. And the ball went into the backcourt, and Kurtz finally had to go back and get it. But the over and back violation is called, and they send it out close to where the ball went out of bounds, so the Royals will have it in their front court. Hankins from the baseline gets it into Brendan Burns. Skip pass over to Mason. Mason drives baseline and lays it up in with a left hand. Mason with his first bucket of the game, 51-34, as we approach the final minute left in this junior varsity contest. Brownsburg had a run, as here is a 3-ball, no good by Hubley. Johnson with a rebound gives it to Mason Hankins. Got it to within 10, but Royals get a 3-ball by Max Hankins, and they start to stretch it back out, and we're going to have a timeout called by Hamilton Southeastern. With 44.2 seconds remaining in this fourth quarter, and the Royals up by the score of 51-34. Varsity game to follow here on Audio Sports Online, and then we'll also join 1610 AM XRB in Brownsburg. Final 40 seconds remain. Max Hankins into the front court. Looks, goes left side to Brock Sanders. Double team comes, gives it back to Max. Max loses the basketball, and the Bulldogs have it. Chapman drives right side of the lane, and Adrian Chapman has his 6th point. Leads down to 15, but less than 20 seconds remain in the fourth quarter. Max Hankins with the basketball. Triple team comes. He finds Kramer. Kramer finds Johnson coming down the lane right side. Kramer gets the putback. He'll hit the bottom of the rim, but a whistle and a foul is going to be called against Brownsburg with 7.9 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter. Hathaway will be called for his personal foul, first personal foul, and Kramer's at the line for 2. It's the first of 2. Jack now with 5 points. Royals done an excellent job from the charity stripe in this game. Second free throw is good. 6 points for Jack Kramer, 53-36. Final seconds tick away here in the fourth quarter. Tyler Kurtz gives it to Hubley, long-range three, rims out, no good, and that's the end of the ball game. Final score, Hamilton Southeastern Junior Varsity squad defeats the Brownsburg JV squad by the score of 53-36. Everybody stay tuned, as coming up next here on Audio Sports Online and also on 1610 AM XRB will be the Brownsburg Bulldogs against number 5 Hamilton Southeastern. Tip-off is scheduled for around 7:30. We'll have the pregame show at 7:20. This is Royals basketball on Audio Sports Online.